realized something relatively recently about the way my brain kind of takes information and spits it out. The way my brain works is I'll take a concept, I'll take an idea based off of seeing something happen in real time. I break that thing I see, whether it's a piece of media, whether it's real life, whether it's a moment or a conversation I see someone having, and I'll break that conversation down to that piece of content, right, down to its atomic parts, and I'll conceptualize and I'll break down and identify the conceptual finding or a conceptual learning that's valuable or that's cogent based off that experience. That's the way my brain works. There's power that comes with it. There's benefits that come with it, but there's also detriments that come with it. You know, if you're having a conversation with someone in a business capacity, you want to talk about the juice and meat and the bones of the conversation, of the contract, of the details, of the arrangement. You want to get to the point where you're shaking hands and signing contracts. You want to hear the big parts of the contract that are going to be set in stone. You want to go from there, right? You have a conversation with the neighbor. Hey, buddy, how's the neighbor? Or how's the weather outside? You know, how's X? How's Y? How's Z? There's these social rituals that we all do because we're human beings. We need to do it. There's no explanation to why we do it. We just do it so we can thrive and coexist in a society. I'm the type of person that will really think about those questions and provide actual answers to them that require some sense of thinking or some sense of introspection. And then some people, they take these moments and they're almost kind of surprised or stunned or thrown off or weirded out by how I would choose to answer these questions or how my response isn't really typical of what they would expect in that type of interaction. So that's definitely something that I'm struggling with or I'm coping with. Giving the proper answers to certain prompts, to certain questions. It's always been something I struggled with, but it's how my brain works. And I think the benefit of thinking about stuff that way is you'll eventually find someone that's really willing to compete with you and go back and forth. And that really, really tickles your brain in a really nice way that a lot of people, I'm gonna keep it a bean, really don't have the mental faculties or resources to keep up with. And it's, you know, it's all cool, bro. I'm not really tripping about like getting folks to like me or having people think like I'm a certain type of way. It's more so just a way that I've chose to interact with folks that makes the most sense to my brain. But, you know, going forward, you really want to build relationships and be vulnerable with people and folks and find people that you feel comfortable with to have those type of relationships with. So it's more so a mental model for how I approach social dynamics and friendships and this, that, and the third. But I want to talk about a particular thing today before we set foot is how to find how to network with people, right? And usually when I see videos and when I see pieces of content or how-to guides or books on people on how to network, they focus on the really tangible aspects of being in certain rooms, right? You want to network, you want to go to as many events as possible. You want to be able to, you know, say you're a shy person, you want to speak more than being spoken to, open more doors than entering into doors. And that's all helpful in a sense where it's easy to understand, right? If you play it like a volume game, the more people you talk to, the more events and venues you go to, the more people you're going to talk to. But for me, that wasn't really helpful, right? Because at the end of the day, I think we all know this. The more people you talk to, the more events you go to, the more likely you are to find folks that could put you in a position or open up like certain doors for you. Like I think most people understand that part at a fundamental level. I think what was helpful for me and what really helped me change my approach to networking was having an understanding of how people get to know each other, how people network. For example, there's this really popular story about Jamie Foxx when he entered Hollywood. You know, he was a multi-talented guy. We all know that now. and his talents are kind of on display for all of us to see. But his first foray into Hollywood, nobody really knew who he was. And he tells a story in his biography on one of the ways that he was able to break into some of these Hollywood circles. He was like, yeah, I'm gonna be real, like not many people know who I was, but the biggest way I was able to get into Hollywood parties, want to hear it? The biggest way I was able to get into Hollywood parties was I found a need for someone else that was more popular than me, or was more clouded than me, or that had more motion than me. I made myself useful to that person. And you know what? It worked. It worked, and the main reason that it worked is because he got on the good side of someone that had power, and that had motion, and that had pull. So, the next time an opportunity showed up, or an opportunity came up, or someone needed a recommendation for a certain role, that person was able to say, and put in the good word and say, you know what, man, I know this guy. You may not have that much experience, but I worked with him. I can speak. One, I worked with him. I know him. Two, I can speak to the quality of his work. Good quality guy, good quality work. And three, good character person that will be valuable to you now and for future projects. You know what the director could have done? They could have said, thanks, I saw his resume, but we want to go with someone that's more experienced. But you know why the director didn't do that? Right? The director didn't do that because at the end of the day, there's a lot of talented people, and not just Hollywood, a variety of different industries where you can network. Whether it's sales, whether it's investment banking, whether it's working for engineering, working as an engineer for a FANG company, whether it's working for a tech, any bullshit bro, for a sports company, whatever, social media, entertainment. What it comes down to for most of the time is if the hiring manager or that the team members that you're going to be working with and that are going to be hiring you like you as a person, right? Is this guy fun to be around? Is this guy a good vibe? Is this guy going to bring a good vibes, or is he going to bring a headache to our work environment? And for that reason alone, a lot of people would choose the person that, is good, has decent skills, maybe a little bit of a rookie, but has a great personality, versus this person right here who, checks off all boxes, stamp of approval on the town side, but he's a headache to work with, or I never worked with him before, so I can't speak to his personality. No relationship there versus relationship here. This person right here is going to be hired 99% of the time. And the people that aren't successful, or the people that don't, agree with that model, they're going to sit there, they're going to complain and say, that's not fair. I have more talent, I'm more qualified, but that's how the world works. That's how the world works. It doesn't matter how much you complain about it. That's what people are doing in every industry, in every walk of life, in every space. And you either play the game to win, or you play the game to lose. I want to be on the winning team, so I'm going to choose this pathway forward. And I'm really want to set that forth and set that model as an example of what it really takes for people. It doesn't matter if you're introverted. It doesn't matter if you think, your skills may not have what it takes to match up to these folks right here because they went to these schools, or they know they have these things on their resume, worked in these circles. I want to say start right here. Start where you can. Definitely coach and educate yourself to the best of your ability so that eventually your body of work and quality of work can speak and can match the personality. But you need to build that work ethic while shaking hands with people, because you can lock yourself in a room for 4 months, for 5 months, and memorize encyclopedia, or act your ass off, or do whatever you want to do. If no one sees it, if no one puts you in a position to get your work elevated, or to have your work ethic acknowledged by people that have that, are in that position to push that button, you're wasting your time. You're wasting your time. So that's really all I had to say today. I'm gonna spend a little bit more time talking a little bit more intimately about this topic because I am quite passionate about it. I did benefit off of a social network I leveraged just like this. So it's hot in my mind, hot on topic right now. But let me know if you guys have any questions on anything I talked about. Talk to you soon. Peace.